Alright, what's up? I'm here with Chris from Ruination. First off, how did Ruination form? Like, was it because of the demise of Countdown to Oblivion, or?
No, Countdown ended and the Swarm ended. We started before any of that.
Okay.
Andy had played bass the last time the Swarm went out, and he filled in for somebody that couldn't go out, and we were friends, and I knew Ebro, I guess, just from our bands playing together, and just like, knew him around.
Okay.
And we just, that's cute. What's going on? Yeah, we just thought we'd try it. We didn't really know what would happen with it, and we just thought we'd give it a try. So we all live pretty far from each other.
Right.
Because I'm in Toronto, and our old bass player was from Toronto, and our new one is too, and Andy's in basically Detroit, and Everett's from Chicago. So just gave it a try one day, and we met up in Ann Arbor one time, and practiced and cranked out a bunch of songs and played them like 2 hours later.
Okay.
And then everything we did since then was just like that. Like we just fucking just by the seat of our pants. But we've probably done more than any band I've ever played in, just in like the last year and a half. You know, we've done like all these records and toured Europe and toured all summer now. This was the last, third last show of the summer.
Okay.
So I guess it's just, I don't know, you can do whatever you fucking put your mind to or put your heart to.
How does the style of Ruination come about? Because since you guys come from so many bands, you with like 4 other bands behind you, like Jamie also in there, like Earth Mover, Los Crudos, So like, how do you guys decide like what type of style, or you have like one main songwriter in there?
No, we all. Our shit, I don't know, it's just now starting to sound a lot more concise because I write certain songs a certain way and Andy writes them a certain way, and I don't know. I don't think any of those bands that we played in were all that different. They were mostly just kind of pretty pissed off hardcore, and that's what we've all played, whether, whenever you mix people up and you get their different sounds kind of all in together, you know what I mean? It sounds like something different, so we just came together and just cranked it out like we like it, and that's what came out, that's what comes out. Like, I don't think it's that. It might sound different. I think with the kind of stuff that my part in it anyway, I think is a lot like what I was putting into the Swarm.
Right.
The songs I would write, where they'll be like the 25-second short-ass ones, and so I don't know. And the same with like Andy and the songs he always wrote, and like Blood Pact is mostly just kind of short and fast, and Charles Bronson and Crudos and all those things were a lot like that. So I don't think it's that far off from what we do. It's just kind of, we try to do what comes out naturally though, and not think about it, and just we're left with what we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you start, like, back in the days when you first started, like, in this music? Do you think your, like, perception of this music, or your, whatever your ideals of this, like, this music has changed since, throughout the years?
Yeah, and it's been, like, I'm gonna be 27 in a couple months, and I guess it's been since I was, like, 16 years old I started playing in bands.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's changed for the better and for the worse. Like, it's hard to pinpoint how or why. I think a lot of things have happened in the last 5 years or so, just to hardcore and punk as a subculture, that have just like blown the lid off it, that made it, makes it really hard to maintain. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Like what's the best thing being in a band? Like, what's the most negative thing, like being like in a band?
What do you mean?
Like what's the aspect you find like the most positive for yourself, as a person, like,
For myself, just the same as when I was 16, just being able to vent and try to like get my frustrations out and try to express yourself to somebody and to share your fucking thoughts with people, and to like, just like this, it's interpersonal, you know what I mean?
Right.
You give to it and you take from it, and that's what it always has been. Like, no matter how full of shit everything seems to get, there's always at least like, whether it's fucking 6 kids in a room somewhere, or whether it's like 500 in a, like, that's always there. There's always enough of that, even if it's just 5% of it all to justify the other 95% of it being bullshit.
So your flame is still like strong within you, like as when you're 16, like as now 27.
It's harder to do all the time as you get older.
Right.
I think you're gonna get a wedgie. It's harder to do because you can't afford to be out so long. If you're not in it for like money's sake, like you can sort of do it. When you're 16, you're practicing in your mom's basement, and you do all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier. And now, like, I've got student loans, and everyone's got their fucking real life shit catches up with you eventually. So it's hard. You sometimes have to adjust your mindset about what it means to you.
Okay. So you plan like do this for a long time, like
I don't know.
Or do you whatever? See how it comes.
I guess I'm just gonna keep going until I don't want to ever hit the point where I'm just doing it because I said I would always, never stop. Because if there, it's a good enough reason. Sometimes people just stop doing it, and for a good reason. Okay. And if I hit that point, then I probably will. Like, I probably could use a break sometime soon. I think I'm taking this year off school, and I'm going to try and travel, and I'm not going to stop, with Ruination or anything like that. But I'm probably going to try and go really kind of reassess what it means, because it's changing so much. It's hard to you either have to say, okay, I'm going to be a musician and keep doing this and try to do that with my life instead of fucking getting a job or instead of finishing school.
Right.
in which case you have to really reassess your politics about music and what the function of it is.
Okay.
But it gets harder as you get older. I think anyone that, you know, could tell you that, you'll see it. You know, anyone that's around for, not to like rip on people, you know what I mean, like whatever, it's not like the fucking old guys know what the hell they're doing as opposed to the young kids, but I mean, anyone that's around long enough, you'll see it. It's just like the bottom falls out from underneath you sometimes, and you have to figure out what you're in it for.
For sure, for sure.
So, I don't know.
Right. Like, when you started off, did you think about like writing like more like political or, you know, more like activist like type of lyrics, or
That's pretty much the same for me as it ever has been, you know?
Okay.
Like, I don't think I ever was played in a band, and like I really don't like the idea of abusing a medium, you know, that's been fought for people, whether you're like get big or whatever, I think, or you're just like, you know, grassroots, whatever, on any level, like you take hardcore, I think you sort of owe it to what hardcore is to like help maintain what that is. And for me, that's just, it's having fun and being able to laugh at yourself and have a sense of humor, but also, yeah, to talk about and think about what it's about.
Okay.
And I think politics play a big part in it.
Okay.
I think it's the glue that holds that kind of thing together.
Do you think like the edge and like being maybe like vegetarian, like be part of that?
See, I don't know. I grew up like just a punk kid that was drunk off his ass all the time.
Okay.
And I've been vegetarian since I was like 16, but it wasn't because of hardcore.
Okay.
Like, if anything, those kind of kids, my experiences with those people would have turned me off it.
Okay.
Like,
so
I can sometimes identify more with people that are annoyed by straight edge kids than with straight edge kids themselves. And I think
Yeah.
I've always tried to, like, if I'm going to write a song about that stuff, it's sort of more about like the industries that revolve around ripping people off and sucking their life away. You know what I mean? Why that's stupid. Not saying like, we're straight edge and you're not, so you should be this way, or fuck off, because that's it doesn't really win anybody over, and it doesn't really make anybody change for the right reasons. It just guilts them and pressures them into things, and that's probably why most of the time things don't stay the same very long, because people get into it for the wrong reasons. I don't really agree with those things as a platform. Like, vegetarianism is a totally different thing to me than straight edge is. Like, everyone's got their own reasons.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
My reasons have nothing to do with hardcore. They're just that I was like really fucking my life up hard, and I had to kind of stop it, and that's the same for me whether I'm here at a show or whether I'm, you know, it's like 10 years from now somewhere else. It's just, that's what booze plus me equals, so that's gonna always pretty much be the same for me. But I don't think hardcore and writing and stuff, like, I agree, as much as it's important to talk about like those industries, that's like those Swarm songs like that and Left Hand songs like that. And this isn't like a straight edge band. I mean, that's one thing I learned from the Swarm. It's really hard and it really burns you out when you try to maintain something on behalf of somebody else, because nobody owes you any consistency, you know?
Is there anything like positive or different about like this band, like that maybe the Swarm or Left 4 Dead didn't have or something?
Everybody's a little bit older and everyone's been through a lot more, I think. So it's not quite so volatile.
Okay.
And we don't have any great expectations of it because we all live so far apart that it was a long shot that it would work out in the first place, you know?
Right.
So the fact that we're still doing it and we've done this much, it's like that justifies it as much as it needs to.
Right. So I guess that's a good thing, you know, if your expectations kind of like lower and, you know, guys living so far apart, you know, then when something good happens, you know, you're like, yeah, that's amazing, you know?
Yeah, like when we went to Europe, the Swarm was supposed to go originally with Blood Pact.
Okay.
And somehow we just did.
Oh, shit.
Like, it made no sense. No one knew who the hell we were. We had like a 7-inch we put out ourselves.
Okay.
That's all. And I mean, that was amazing. Just the opportunity to travel and see your friends all over the place and do neat stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's it then.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had this one. He has the Swarm and Count of Oblivion. All the same
At one
time?
point.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
The Swarm was